the stupidity of what's happening. These are all live updates. These are all things happening that like aren't interesting themselves. But again, we want to talk about stupidity. The scientist who touted hydroxychloroquine to treat COVID is named to pandemic prevention role in the CDC.
You mean that stuff that killed 2 people because Trump suggested people use it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Just FYI, chat, in case anyone is confused about this, the answer is no. Aquarium cleaner does not protect you from COVID. It will just kill you. Don't take it. Like, I killed a husband and wife who like just consumed it to clear out their system. It's like
it's just
stupid.
But now he's in the
CDC.
Now he's at the CDC, so that's insane. The stupidity around DOGE, for example, because we now know that absolutely DOGE not only didn't save any money, but cost us a fortune, and also just stole all of the data from the U.S. government and transported it elsewhere.
Which, by the way, will not just represent a massive security disadvantage for the United States into basically perpetuity. You will also be paying the price of all that inefficiency they've created by just destroying institutional knowledge. For decades, you will not get that back because it takes decades, a century even really, to produce it.
And again, Elon Musk is stupid. He's not a good business person. He's an excellent hype man and liar and con man. That's why he and Trump get along so well. He's never been an engineer. He's never designed anything you could possibly
say. Is he even an excellent? Is he even really? Like when you think of it.
Yeah, no. Tesla, he figured out how to lie and scam a whole bunch of fucking people. Absolutely, he's a good con man. You don't get to be the richest person in the world to do that.
He's a good con man, but I have to wonder, like, how much of that is the money actually playing the role and not any particular skill set on his part?
I mean, Peter Thiel and all these fuckers are propped up by cash more than intelligence by a wide
Peter
margin.
Thiel's got like that Miscavige energy. I don't get that from Musk.
Just before the election last fall, Musk predicted he could cut $2 trillion from the federal budget. By early January, a couple of weeks before President Trump returned to the White House and appointed Musk head of the newly created not quite department dubbed DOGE, he was calling $2 trillion a best-case outcome. We have a good shot at getting $1 trillion. In late March, he said DOGE would deliver $1 trillion in deficit reduction by the end of May. By April 10th, that was down to $150 billion in savings. Draw a trend line. Basically, the joke is that by December, we'll be losing a ton of money on them. It's not meant to be a serious forecast, but with Musk's time as a special government employee due to...
Let's call him Muck from now on.
Muck. It works for me.
Mucks.
And the Partnership for Public Service, estimating that the cost in lost productivity, rehiring of firing workers, and other side effects of his chaotic approach will top $135 billion this year. And that is only that part. Again, there is a reality that what they've done may completely crush and cripple Social Security and lead to a downfall of the entire global economy. So that's the thing. They conclude the direct annual savings from DOGE's efforts will be less than $150 billion, which amounts to 2% of federal spending. With spending up 10% since Trump took office relative to the same period, the one beautiful bill addressing taxes and current spending currently working its way through Congress, almost certain to increase the deficit, and a tariff-induced tax revenue reducing recession, perhaps on the horizon, it's not impossible to say the deficit will rise by $2 trillion. Its minimal impact on spending notwithstanding, DOGE has had a huge impact in Washington, with its actions disrupting federal government in ways that few would have imagined possible before it set to work. What then have they really been trying to do? There are many, many theories. In March, Alex Nowrasteh, I feel like I have to say it with a Bostonian accent, Alex Nowrasteh and Ryan Bourne of the Libertarian Cato Institute tried to organize them into 6 theoretical models for understanding DOGE's actions to date. 1. DOGE is seeking to purge progressive influence within federal government. 2. DOGE is a scaled-up public version of Musk's style of corporate restructuring applied to federal government. That's a nightmare. DOGE is the first step of public relations campaign to build popular support for spending cuts. DOGE is an essential component of a Trump administration legal challenge to expand the president's power of impoundment. DOGE provides political cover for Congress to be even more fiscally irresponsible, and DOGE is about self-interest and cronyism. Nowrasteh and Bourne offered their own evaluations of how well these models were supported by the facts on the ground. I recommend their essay. But 6 weeks have passed. Here's my updated run-through plus an addition. And he runs through and he goes through But it's, again...
I haven't heard that term before. What does that mean, impoundment?
Oh, impoundment. This is a fun one. We should actually do this. 1 second. We should do this. This is like... You know, I like my political wonky stuff. It's a really funny term. So, 1 second. I'm trying to find a good article on it because it's not the easiest thing. Short version is that when Congress passes bills that say we're going to spend $100 million on grass and we're going to put grass everywhere, the president sort of has the rule that he's got to do the thing. He's got to execute the laws legally created. The legislative branch creates laws. The executive branch executes them. But for a very long time in America's history, the president just sort of stopped doing that. Like early on, we're talking about like founding of the country level shit where they were like, I'm not going to do that. We're just not going to do that. We're going to delay spending that money. We're just not going to put grass everywhere, which is like fucked up because it basically ruins Congress's power because Congress passes laws. And if you're not going to be executed, that puts the president in kind of a king
Congress
spot.
Powerless. Yeah.
And it makes him a king. Yeah. So impoundment, that's what it means. The money is impounded. You could like think of it as like the president saying, no, we're not going to do that. We're impounding the money more or less. And so impoundment is kind of that term. That thing, though, got fucked up during Nixon because everything got fucked up during Nixon ultimately because he basically said huge amounts of money aren't going to be spent. We're just not going to do a ton of this stuff. Local governments, federal agencies across the board, he like a huge amount, like I want to say like a large percent, like 50-60% of all spending, like he complete dickhead. Then the Impoundment Control Act of 1974 was passed by Congress. It said, fuck you. Basically, you've got to do it, and you're getting stuff out there. And this is why, like, the Supreme Court's really important, because if the Supreme Court overthrows this, and they might as a thing, like, I think there's actually 2 cases that are on their way or already in the works, it would basically make our president a king, which is bad. That would be bad. That would be bad. I'm trying to find the articles on impoundment on the cases right now.
Found the actual act.
Yeah. Because the Supreme Court like fucked with a lot of things. All right. So it like that's the background. So we're gonna now do this thing. Why aren't you? Oh, it's because what the fuck? 1 sec. Up. There. That. I don't know why it popped into a new fucking window. Weird. All right, Sunday. Let me reshare it with you so that way you can see it at least. And then let me see if I can fix this audio thing while we're doing this.
By the way, you're showing your email address on the screen.
Oh, that's fine. It's all public anyway. The world's known it for a very long time. If you send stuff to me, it goes right to trash. Have fun with that. 1 sec. Let me see if I can switch this around. It's going to be... Yeah, all right. Turn device. I'm going to do speakers for this. Where the fuck are you? That'll be okay. All right. To read. Mr. President, how do you respond to criticism that your impoundment of funds abrogates power or authority to the Constitution gave to Congress? A reporter asked then-President Richard Nixon at a 1973 press conference. The same way that Jefferson did it and Jackson did it and Truman did, the president responded. The constitutional right for the President of the United States to impound funds, and that is, to not spend money when the spending of money would mean either increasing prices or increasing taxes for people. That right is absolutely clear. Oh, fuck you, Washington Examiner. I should have known. God damn it. This fucking article isn't showing up. That's fine. God damn it. 2 seconds. Way back? Maybe way back has something for me. I know, it's very, very exciting airtime. Relax. Please say it works. Boop, 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 boop. It did. Good. Fuck you, Washington Examiner. All right. Nixon, just months after winning re-election in a historic landslide, was railing against what he viewed as irresponsible spending from Democratic-controlled Congress by using his executive powers to prevent congressionally appropriated funds from being dispersed, a decision that sparked myriad lawsuits, partisan infighting, and media outcry. Fast forward half a century, President Donald Trump has found himself in a similar situation. After winning a commanding victory on election night, Trump resolved to freeze or cut billions of dollars in government spending, much of which had already been approved by Congress. This was part of an effort Trump believes will reduce the nation's deficit and improve government efficiency. Like Nixon, he has been met with an array of legal challenges, hostile press, and congressional skeptics. These people are in the fucking tank for Trump. It's wild. Supreme Court's ruling, however, was not on the 1974 Impound Control Act, which constrains the president's ability to impose spending freezes. Instead, it considered the power of low-level federal judges to issue injunctions suspending federal policy across the nation. With this avenue exhausted, the Trump administration may have its eyes on overturning the Impound Control Act. If the president is victorious, he would gain an effective line-item veto over every piece of spending approved by Congress, and, what's more, it can't be overridden. Yay! Imagine a Democratic Congress approved funding for Planned Parenthood in its budget. A Republican president could order the executive branch to withhold those funds specifically, while continuing to spend funds related to infrastructure or education. A Democratic president, conversely, could do the same, with border security funding or another conservative priority. A ruling striking down the Impound Control Act would remove one more institutional check on an aggressive president. I should add that the framers envisioned that the primary check on an aggressive president would be Congress that safeguarded its own institutional prerogatives. At this point, however, the majority in both chambers of Congress seems more loyal to its party than its institutions, so that sort of political check does not work very effectively. There you go.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's worth noting as well, like, it's not just a matter of arresting programs by these institutions or whatever that these funds are allocated for. A lot of these organizations actually depend on this funding. They will increase their personnel. They will devote resources based on the expectation of this funding, and it being withheld can actually ruin them to the point where, let's say you wait till another administration comes in. It's like, that doesn't necessarily mean they can just reverse it and fix it. Just keep the wheels turning. You can break the wheels that way. So yeah.
But if we want some good news, just because it's, oh, come on. I know fuck you. If you remember a few months ago, Janet Mills was in that meeting with Trump, big dinner, and she said, I'll see you in court. And he goes, you will, you lose. Blah, 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 we're going to take all your money. Because her constitution in Maine says that trans people have a right to do things and be treated as people. Wild idea, I know, but stick with me here. And so Trump said, if you allow trans people to compete in sports of the opposite gender, we're going to take all your funding away. Nope, apparently not. So all the funding has been fully restored. She beat him in federal court. Trump administration backed down after a federal court intervened in its attempt to cut off funding for Maine school meal programs, punishment for the state's refusal to discriminate against transgender people by barring trans girls from participating in girls' sports. So let's just take a second to think about that. Trans people, trans girls competing in girls' sports. So they go, hey, we're going to starve kids. That's, what the fuck?
Yep.
That's the response. It's like, yeah, well, you won't want to have them compete when your kids are starving. And
The
that's
best part about it too is that, like,
what the fuck?
yeah. The best part about it too is, like, this is a decidedly nonpartisan punitive action that Republican parents with their kids, including a lot of poor Republicans that actually make up the bulk of them, will suddenly feel. And it's like, God bless this administration for being fascist and being so bad at it. Just being so useless that everything they do just falls on their face. It's great. I mean, it'd be great if it didn't exist, but it's great that it's happening that way at least.
Oh, and Steph's, I'm aware that they're trans men. You'll notice no one cares about them on the conservative side. It's one of those really fun things because it's ultimately, again, at the base.
See, here's the
it's
thing.
about how uncomfortable people are with their own sexuality is the core of this.
That's a part of it, but I disagree. I think the main part of it.
One sec.
No, it's
Moth super chatted $5. Seems like a procedural error to have the executive branch police
Moth,
itself.
thank you for the $5. Seems like a
Founders
procedural
should
error
have
to
had someone
the
with
executive branch
programming
police itself.
socks give it a once
Founders should
over.
have had someone with programming socks give it a once over.
No idea why it's not playing.
I don't think it's a. It's not even showing up in the bar either.
I know. Very annoying.
What did you do, Brooks?
I didn't do anything for this.
What did you fucking do? What button did you push? I don't think this is even a matter of discomfort. I think it's just raging sexism, because fundamentally what it boils down to is, trans women are characterized as perverted men, and then they are targeted on those grounds. Trans men are victimized women who have no agency and no control over what they do, and
because women don't have agency, and so therefore trans men don't have agency because women
exactly
all they want.
So it's actually it's the opposite. It's they're super comfortable with trans men because they're weak and diminutive because they don't view them as men.
And again, we're saying this from their perspective, not from ours.
No, just to be clear, I'm saying this from Brooks's perspective only. Okay, I of course would never.
You motherfucker. It's a sexist paternalism at the base of it. It's oh no, what might happen to the to girls in the bathroom? And it's like, what?
You see it among Blair White and Brianna Wu types as well. They'll just completely eliminate the existence of trans men in the equation for the exact same reason, because they consider victimhood and weakness to be essential parts of femaleness.
They do.
And the reverse. So it's like,
and again, it's why often TERFs are not feminists at all.
Yeah,
what they are is a womanists mostly. Yeah. They're not feminists. They have no interest in like a generalized equality. Shulamith Firestone, I mean, forever will be the closest I think we get to like a real feminist, where for her, until we could figure out how to grow people in jars outside of the human body, until then, women can't possibly be equal. Yeah. And I agree with that statement. Like that's for her, like where this comes from. It's not an innate ability of a woman to be more sensitive or to be more caring or any of that garbage.
No, exactly. It's exactly why, for example, when Take Homa found out that his cab driver was a completely different person, it didn't occur to him, and he got assassinated as a result because he didn't take a woman seriously in season 2 of Andor.
Yep, it's 100% season 2 of Andor. You motherfucker.
Hi,
a happy thought.
Oh, I don't have a happy thought, but I have a secret to tell you.
No, it's about a happy thought. Hello?